Hello, Hope Church family. I hope that you're all well, and I have to say it's a joy to be sitting in front of a camera and talking to you again. It's been a long time, really. I have to say I particularly enjoyed this morning being at the Hope Church Centre and sharing the Word of God with you. But this time I want to do something slightly different. For some time now, as a leadership team, we have been thinking about, we've been prayerfully considering together whether or not God might be calling us as a church to a season of fasting. I personally have been stirred by God to commit myself to a season of fasting, and for two reasons. Firstly, so that I might experience just greater depths of intimacy with Jesus, and we all need that, don't we, at this time? And then secondly, so that I might see breakthrough on so many levels, breakthrough in our nation, breakthrough in our town, in our church, and in our lives. And I'm sure we can all think of circumstances and situations in which we would want the hand of God to move in power, bringing breakthrough. And so, with this in mind, I have written a series of blogs on fasting, and the first one is now on the website. What I want to do is some accompanying vlogs, one for each blog. So this is my first one, and we're going to be looking at various aspects of fasting. So you can access the vlogs as well as the blogs on the website, and there will also be more resources going on the website. We will be having some testimonies from Linda Giovanathan and Mamuni, and I'm sure there will be more to follow as well. And those testimonies will be just sharing personally about how God has how they've encountered God and how God has met with them and brought breakthrough in their own lives and own situations and circumstances as they have devoted themselves to the discipline of fasting. So I want to do the first of our 4-part vlog series with you now, and as I said, it's going to be just a brief introduction. So let me ask you this: have you ever felt so strongly that something was supposed to happen? You were so sure that you'd heard from God. You waited, you prayed, you waited some more, and yet nothing. And the question started coming: did I miss God? Was it just me, and the cheese I ate the night before? Why isn't anything happening? Why are the metaphorical doors closed when God seemed to be saying that they would open? In Mark chapter 9, a father brought his son to 9 of Jesus' disciples. The boy was demonized and epileptic, and even though the disciples had healed people before, they couldn't heal him. So they brought him to Jesus, and he was healed. The boy was healed immediately. And they then asked Jesus this question: why couldn't we do it? And Jesus gives them the answer in verse 29. He says, "This kind cannot be driven out by anything except by prayer and fasting." Perhaps there are things that God desires to happen in the life of our church and our lives and ministries that won't happen unless we accompany prayer with fasting. You see, fasting draws us more intimately into the presence of God. It breaks strongholds, it liberates people and moves us into a realm of realizing God's power in our lives. The more time you're spending with God, the more you're going to see the hand of God on your life in an extraordinary way. You may not feel different, there may not be immediate answers to prayer, but rest assured there will be change. And we, like most people, we've been living with a deadly virus, COVID-19, for almost a year now, and during that time in the UK we have experienced 3 lockdowns and a whole host of measures ranging from the completely draconian to the exceptionally inconvenient. The lockdowns and associated restrictive measures, they've been necessary due to the fact that unprecedented numbers of people have sadly and tragically lost their lives, and many more hospitalised with severe symptoms, and indeed every single loss to this virus has been tragic. And as I sit here and speak to you now, there has been well over, I don't know the exact figure, but there's been well over 100,000 deaths to COVID-19 in the UK alone, and that's tragic. That's not a statistic, because every life lost represents a mother, a father, brother, sister, son, daughter. Every life lost is a life who represents a person who loved and was loved by friends, family, and the trail of just heartache and sadness that every life lost has left, has been devastating, and our heart continues to go out to those who have lost loved ones to this virus. But even though we continue to live through this coronavirus nightmare, in God's gracious providence, there is now a nationwide vaccine program that has been rolled out, and it is, in a physical sense, offering light at the end of what has been a very long and dark tunnel. It is our way out of this pandemic. But even though, we can now see a way out, actually, it is likely to be many months until life for us can return to anything vaguely resembling normal. So in light of that, is there any more that we could be doing as Hope Church? Obviously, we need to continue steadfastly in prayer, but I also think that there is another weapon in our armoury that we could be considering right now. And I'm talking, of course, about the weapon of fasting. I'm increasingly sensing that as we individually and corporately combine fasting with our prayers, we will experience greater depths of intimacy with Jesus and just incredible supernatural breakthrough on so many different levels, individually and in our nation. And as I have said, with the full backing and support of the leadership team, that now is the time really to write a series of blogs on the discipline of fasting, looking at what it is, and we're doing that as a sort of prelude and as a run up to a prayer meeting that we will be having as a church. It will be our next church-wide prayer meeting on Sunday, the 28th of March, from 7:30 until 9 in the evening. And I want to urge you to consider whether or not, prayerfully before God, whether or not that God might be calling you to this. Just get before God and ask Him, Lord, are you is this something for me? Is this something you want me to be a part of? And our hope is that as many people as possible on the day of the prayer meeting will commit to a day of fasting. Or for those of you who feel for whatever reason you can't commit to a day of fasting, perhaps a partial fast that day, so that when we come together in the evening, that we come with great faith and expectation that God's going to move and do incredible things amongst us. Yes, bringing us into closer intimacy with Jesus, and but moving powerfully in situations and circumstances, so that we might see the miraculous hand of God move and bringing breakthrough. So the structure then of these blogs. This is really the first one. Say it's a foretaste and just a basic introduction to this, and just to give some context and framework for fasting. In the next one, which will be released and uploaded on the website next week, will be part 2, and looking at we'll be giving a definition, what is fasting. We'll be laying a foundation and looking at different types of fasting. And then thirdly, why fast? In that we'll be looking at fasting as an expectation, not a command. And we'll be explaining the purpose and giving reasons. And then fourthly and lastly, how do we fast? And we'll be just giving practical guidelines and just highlighting some of the benefits of fasting. So that's it. There's a lot to think about and consider. Please do go on the website and do have a look at the blog. As I say, there will be more to follow, and yeah. God bless you. Stay well, stay safe, and until next time, it's bye for now.